I'm all set. Hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Oops. And now you get to see all of my other stuff. All right, can everyone see my screen okay? All right, perfect. So I'll go ahead and get kicked off here. So my name is Stephen Williamson, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my online course, Instructional Design for Online Environments. So this was life pre-COVID, early March, as everyone can remember. It was exciting. Things were a lot easier. We could learn in a classroom setting. We could talk with each other. Then COVID hits. Once COVID hits, things kind of transformed. And now we're all getting very, very familiar, scarily familiar to this. And this is what life has been like since March. And with the rise of COVID and the transition to online learning, there have been many questions, there have been many concerns, there's been many comments from people all over, just how do we transition to online learning and how do we transition to the digital environment. So in response to these questions, I created an online course, a 15-module online course that covers the topic of instructional design for online environments. And basically, this course is geared to budding instructional designers, instructors who take a hands-on approach in their course, as well as general hobbyists or just opportunists who are interested in learning more about this field. But within the course, you'll run through 15 modules and you'll get information based on my experience as an instructional specialist at Keenan-Flagler, UNC, around designing things for the online environment. And this includes learning a little bit about some of the instructional design models, learning a little bit about the instructional design process, as well as actually being able to use some different tools in the course to create things that you might use in a professional portfolio or just to kind of practice around creating these things for an online environment. The course has been designed for primarily for 3 groups of people. So instructors, as I kind of mentioned, and these are instructors who really have found themselves having to transition their current curriculums into the online environment, and they really have to think about how activities that they once would have done in the actual classroom might actually, what that'll look like for the online environment. So these are hands-on instructors who want to take an approach and want to actually change things in their class to make sure that whenever students jump into this online environment, that class will still run as it did whenever we were in person. Instructional designers, this course is also geared towards people who are current instructional designers or budding instructional designers and want to learn more about the field. These are people who might be interested in the processes or might be interested in the tools or just interested in the job in general and what it entails when you work as an instructional designer. And finally, the opportunist group. The opportunists are people who have taken a note of things that are happening in the educational landscape and really are looking for an opportunity to build things. These things could be built for their personal use, or they could want to build things to actually deploy into our current educational landscape. My course really provides people with the opportunity to learn. So in those 15 modules, I cover a lot of different topics. So I talk a little bit about instructional design, the processes around instructional design models, as well as learning theories and how they relate to instructional designs. More importantly, I give students the opportunity to practice. And by practice, they're practicing in a safe environment. So in the course, they have the opportunity to create various instructional artifacts that, again, they can use in their own personal portfolios, which I encourage, or they can just use just for general practice or to learn more about using these tools and how you would use these tools as an instructional designer. And finally, it just gives everyone in this course the ability to create something. So really one of my major focuses on this course was to just give as many opportunities as I can for users to actually go in and build something so they can walk away from the course saying, I built this, I have this, I have this. And they can actually do this in a safe environment with other people and other peers who are interested in these same topics. I really put a focus on creating a community that will allow safe practice, allow others to provide feedback, and allow us all to grow together. from the standpoint of growth with this course, it is my expectation that in year one, I'm really going to have to focus on growing customers and building customer relationships. This is a very, very important component for me because it makes or breaks the class. And so for me, I really have to focus on how I go about obtaining customers as well as how I go about growing those customers. In year two, I would really focus on continuing to grow the customers and users of the course and potentially begin to identify other areas of opportunity. So there might be specific subtopics within this course that users may want to see covered or may want to see expanded upon. So that would be the year for me to begin focusing on these things. And finally, in year three, I really just have a desire or a plan to begin to form more formal partnerships, maybe with educational entities or institutions to kind of take the course to the next level or build out different courses around different topics that may be relevant or useful to these organizations as it relates to instructional design. So with that, I just ask that for everyone that is in kind of this meeting right now, or if you're aware of others, to connect with me. And really specifically what I'm looking for at the moment is really people who are interested in this topic and are passionate about it, as well as people who can help me kind of grow the course and take it to the next level. So if you're a marketer, if you're just someone who's interested in the course concepts or topics themselves, or anyone who could potentially have connections that could help me grow the course, I would very much appreciate it if you would have the opportunity to connect with me. Thank you.